Hi guys, it's Allie with Allie Answers. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, I'm so glad that you are watching today. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so that you will know when new videos are uploaded. And please give me a like or make a comment down below so that more people will see these videos and we can do more good. Today I want to talk about complicated grief. Grief's always complicated, I think, to some extent, but it is especially difficult when we are dealing with a senior that we love and we are seeing changes, and it can feel like sometimes we are losing them piece by piece and bit by bit. It is especially difficult, I think, for a parent-child relationship because the tables tend to turn and we are in a situation where we are having to parent the person who raised us. But it's also complicated when we lose a spouse piece by piece and we become the parent to someone who is always our partner or even the leader in our home. We may have to step up and start taking care of things that we have never been responsible for in the past, start handling financial decisions and things like that maybe never were part of our wheelhouse. Whenever we're dealing with healthcare with a senior, there's so many choices to be made and it's complicated. So maybe we're dealing with all kinds of decisions now that we didn't anticipate having to deal with. Maybe the person still lives with you and making sure that they're cared for properly from day to day is a heaviness. If the person still lives with you and you are loving on them day to day and making sure that they have everything that you need, sometimes it can be this weight that is on you, and it didn't happen all of a sudden. It happened brick by brick by brick by brick, and it's so heavy and you don't know when it started, and it's exhausting and it's sad and it's frustrating. That can cause a lot of different feelings, from frustration and anxiety and waking up in the middle of the night, worrying about things, all the way through to anger. It's really normal to experience anger as part of the grief process. And you might think it's strange to be talking about grieving about someone who's still here. But as one lady explained to me, she said, "My mom has been through so many losses. I feel like I've had 100 funerals for her already." We mourn the change in our loved one. We mourn when they're not able to do things anymore for themselves or for us, especially if we enjoyed being taken care of by that person, or they had a major part to play in the family and they were always leading us and directing us. Not everyone's a natural caregiver, and that can cause frustration too. Maybe your loved one was really strong and healthy and all of a sudden has taken a sharp decline. That can be as frustrating as a long, slow decline, just in a different way. Sometimes getting on the right page and really being prepared for what's coming next is something that we just get overwhelmed with. If you are dealing with anger and frustration, just know that that's completely normal and that you need to have ways to get your anger out. Some healthy ways to deal with your anger might be aggressive house cleaning, exercise, take daily walks. If you're a runner or you like to swim, make sure that you're keeping up with those kind of hobbies that get your energy out. You want to connect with your friends and connect with other people who understand what you're going through. Don't feel guilty about having outings and things that are separate from your loved one. No matter who this person is that you love and what they are to you, you still should be able to have moments away. And I'm not talking about being at the grocery store. I'm talking about time doing something that feeds your soul. Whether that's church or going for a walk or going fishing or spending time with a longtime friend, whether that's pouring into a different family, doing something different, because caregiving is natural to you and that's something that you enjoy. It can be helping your children with their children. Whatever it is, you need to feed your soul. And be patient with yourself. Your anger will pass if it's processed properly. If you've never kept a journal, you may want to start now. Or even writing how you feel on the computer. If you've never found an online support group, now may be the perfect time for that. There's a book called Ambiguous Loss that I highly recommend. And it basically is a description and understanding of what happens when we lose someone who's still with us. I used to lead an ambiguous loss support group, and one lady said that she didn't feel right at any of the grief support groups that she had been to because her loved one was still there, in body anyway. Her loved one had dementia, and he was no longer her husband in the traditional sense. She really was in a caregiving position, and never having had children, it was very new to her and very frustrating. The Ambiguous Loss group was there for her to help her understand that it was normal to feel frustrated and angry. It's normal to feel frustrated if you are now responsible for making sure that the oil gets changed and that you have good tires on the car, or dealing with the insurance company when there's a problem with the house. While it's really hard to do it, I recommend that you ask people for help. I've said in the past that when people ask you, is there anything that I can do to help you? Instead of saying, I'll let you know, maybe give them a real answer. Sometimes people say that just to be kind, but a lot of times they really do want to help, but they don't know how without stepping on your toes. So maybe they can supply a meal. Maybe they can come have a meal with your loved one while you step out. Whatever that support looks like that you need to ask for it. Unfortunately, no one can read our minds, and when we're in pain is when we tend to kind of withdraw and go and be by ourselves and just put our head down and get our jobs done. And as a caregiver, whether you're in the home alone with that loved one or your loved one is in an assisted living or memory care or nursing home, it is one of those things that we tend not to share with others. The hardest things are easier done with others. If you can't share this with a sibling or an adult child or another loved one, then reach out for other groups that you can do that with. And realize that processing that grief, you're going to go through some of the normal steps of grief, like acceptance or anger. And while I can't take that away from you, I can encourage you and I can let you know that it is normal and that you're not alone and that there are other people just like you. What you're doing is important, and I see you. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you. Bye-bye.